got so many questions about types of coaching, and in this video today I will try to summarize about different specialties in professional coaching. So I want to start with myself. I am an executive coach, and I coach executives and managers, senior managers of large multinationals, and I also coach C-suite managers, CEOs, CTOs, CEOs across the world. So what does an executive coach do? So I help those executives to work towards their goals. And most of the time, believe me or not, those goals are not about business at all. And those goals usually are about their, personal challenges, or about their relationship challenges, about some conflicts in their, organization, or relationships with the investors, communication styles, stress, and things like that. But you know what? When you're at the top, it's a lonely place, because everybody thinks that you know everything. You don't need anybody, and they think that you are very capable of solving your own problems. And that's why nobody asks you this question, oh, how are you today? Or maybe they ask, but they don't expect you to tell them your problems, your challenges. They just ask it out of courtesy. So it's really a lonely place. That's why my job is to help those people, those C-level executives and senior managers, just to be present for them, and also ask them, provocative questions, ask them questions that they cannot think of themselves, and partner with them in their journey and reduce their feeling of isolation and loneliness. So I love my job, and being an executive myself, I know how it feels, because you can't share your personal problems with your team, and you can't most of the time share your challenges with your with your management, and everybody is looking at you for answers. So that is why I feel like the job that I'm doing is very meaningful, and it's very valuable to these people who are at the top and who are living in the isolation bubble. So there are other executive coaches that are my friends, and they help their clients. Some of them help their clients with business development. Some of them help their clients with strategy, and some of them help their clients in the way I do. So depends on also your personality, depends on your background, depends on your experience, and I have some clients, they work with me, and they also go to a psychiatrist for their childhood problems. So it's really a process. And as an executive coach, I'm very happy to be part of that process. And there are other, what are the other coaching types? The second, specialty that I want to talk about is corporate coaching. Who is a corporate coach? Corporate coaches work in organizations, with teams or with individuals on certain areas, such as creating a certain culture within the organization, or helping the organization to achieve certain goals in the field of organizational development, or working with certain departments to help them from a certain place and to arrive from a certain place to another, from A to B to another place. So and usually corporate coaches work with the human resources department and design and position coaching within the organization accordingly with the help of the human resources department. And the third special that I will summarize here is business coaching. And business coaches are I like to call them as success partners. That is what we call them as at Flow Coaching Institute. Business coaches help business owners, entrepreneurs, and also startup companies, and sometimes executives of small to mid-sized companies, and help them to achieve their business goals. And if they don't have, or if they don't have the skills to identify the right business goals, a business coach can help those people, business owners, entrepreneurs, to identify smart business goals. And also business coaches help business owners and entrepreneurs and startups to identify the right performance indicators, key performance indicators, and then be there for them, question them, and sometimes even guide them to achieve those performance indicators. So that's why I like to call them as a success partner, because their contribution to the business owner is really huge, and he or she, the business coach, is there to witness their success process. And the fourth type of coaching that I want to talk about is life coaching. To me, honestly, frankly speaking, all coaching is life coaching, because as we work with people, they bring their whole personality to you, to the process of coaching. And whether you're a business coach, whether you're an executive coach, whether you're a corporate coach, you need to have a foundational understanding of being able to coach the whole person. So I think life coaching is, I should say, the foundation of all coaching, and those skills are very, very foundational. So, specifically, if a person calls himself or herself as a life coach, that means that they're working in certain areas such as life and work balance, such as some transformation, life transformation, and some maybe spiritual transformation. So that is, in a very nutshell, life coaching is about, it's about developing the ability to coach the whole person. But as I said, I think to me, those skills are foundational, and it's very important that you obtain those skills before you move on to any specialty, because people come to you as themselves with their whole personality. They are not split, nobody will ask you, even the top executive will ask you, okay, they will say, coach me on this. They will not say, coach my emotions, but please don't coach my mental processes. Nobody will say it, So they don't know. So you should better invest in your foundational coaching skills. And the other specialty that I want to talk about is relationship coaching. So relationship coaches work, as it is in the name, work with relationship goals, whether it is a romance relationship, whether it is a corporate, manager and direct report relationship, whether it is a family, relationship. So they work on relationship goals, and if there are some communication challenges within the relationship, or some barriers, communication barriers within the relationship, or there is some conflict, relationship coaches will help you to get over those conflicts, barriers, and challenges and achieve your relationship goals. And there are other, specialties that I also want to talk about. The one that confuses me a lot is spiritual coaching. So I even, after all so many years, I get confused, about the outcome of spiritual coaching. But if I try to explain it from this perspective, it might maybe become more clear for all of us, including me. So sometimes you get stuck in certain areas of life, and you try everything. Like, you develop new skills, you develop new coping strategies, and you learn new things, and you meet new people, but still, that stuckness continues. And you need to develop some kind of faith in life, or some kind of spiritual practice in those moments of stuckness where nothing else worked, to help you to stay resilient. And who knows, maybe that spiritual practice or that kind of faith will also help you to overcome those challenges that you are facing, and will help you to move away from that stuckness into solutions and into some kind of positive shift. So that is my definition of spiritual coaching. And I think spiritual coaches, if they're not, they should help you to develop a new kind of a fresh perspective of faith, and some spiritual practice such as meditation, yoga, and some others that I'm not aware of maybe, and help you to to build a resilient personality in those times. So what else? Parental coaching. Parental coaching is, if you ask me, it's so valuable. It's so precious. Parental coaches help parents to develop the right communication style with their children, and develop coaching skills, develop mentoring skills, to build trust, and to also be able to support their children's character in the right way, so that generations become more healthier and happier, with self-esteem, and the right values, and the right personality traits that will help them to become more authentic individuals when they grow up. So there are different schools, but at Flow Coaching Institute, our parental coaching program is based on strengths development. So we teach parents who come to us to identify the skills, to identify their children's strengths and their children's personality traits and qualifications, and so that they can mentor, not only parent, but they can mentor and they can coach their own children. And also our parental coaching program has a foundation, we call it as value-based parenting. So we also teach parents to work on or to create core values within the family. So I think it's a very valuable profession, parental coaching. And if you're thinking to become one, I should say it's a huge contribution to the world and to future generations. Um, what else? Sales coach. There are sales coaches, and in our team also there are sales coaches, specifically working with organizations and sales teams, helping them to achieve their sales goals, and also helping them to improve their sales skills, negotiation skills, influencing skills, and also helping them to identify the right sales strategy in the field. And some of the sales coaches, we do it as well, shadow those sales managers and sales representatives or salespeople in the field, and then give supervision and feedback to those people, which is very valuable, because when we do that, we realize that the performance of the salespeople increases from A to B hugely in a very short period of time, even in 1 month. So there was this case. One of our sales coaches was coaching the area managers of a company, of an FMCG company, and he visited different he went into field with those sales managers, with the area managers, and observed them in action, and then gave feedback, then coached them onward. And the average performance of 10 area managers increased by 25%, which is a huge number in just 1 month. So that's what a sales coach does. And team coaching is another area, and group coaching also. So a group coach works with a group of people, and not with individuals. A group of people, let's say 8 people, 10 people, 12 people, and help them to identify and maybe analyze where they are, in the real time, and then help them to, to set meaningful goals for the future, and then work towards those goals with them. And it's a similar concept with a team coach. The difference is that team coach works with teams, mostly in the organizations around the world, and maybe sometimes families. So it's when a team coach works with a family, he or she should be aware of certain dynamics of family, and whether a team coach or a group coach, they should be also aware of certain dynamics when working with groups, because there are interpersonal dynamics when you're working with a group of people. So it's a bit different than working with an individual. What else? Let me think. What is left? Money coach. Hey, money coach. So money coaches help you to identify financial goals, and then they help you to achieve those goals. It's almost like achieving a financial well-being. So from where you are, they help you to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be. And I think their contribution also is huge, because so many people are having problems, even by the concept of money, by thinking about money. And in today's world, honestly, it's an important skill. Money is an important skill. I think there's one more that I want to talk about: youth coach. So I love young people. and I want to contribute to young people. And I think a good youth coach, is a big, huge contribution to young people in helping them with their future career development, and helping them to identify their strengths, and also develop some coping strategies, and develop some self-esteem, uh, confidence, self-love, and also develop some critical thinking skills, some inquiry skills, and develop a macro perspective to understand life in general. So the scope of youth coaching is huge, and it's very situational, I should say, but the contribution is also huge. And another coaching type that I want to talk about is career coaching. And there are different types of career coaching, and some coaches work with career transition, so they help you to transition from your current profession into another one, whether or they help you to identify that as well. And some of them, this is one type, and other career coaches, they work within the organizations either as external coaches or internal coaches in the organization, and they help young people in the organization with their career development, and they coach those people towards their future career to prepare them for their next role or for their future roles. That's also called as career coaching. I think this summary in a nutshell gives you an idea about different types of coaching, and also maybe you already have an idea about what kind of a coach you want to become, and whether you know or not. My advice to you as a seasoned coach is that if you are a beginner, if you just finished your training program, and building your practice, if I were you and I did it like this, I would coach everybody, because that is very important. You don't have to decide about the type of coaching or your specialty soon. It is very important that you get to coach diverse people with diverse backgrounds to develop an understanding of the dynamics in the session. And that's why it is very important that you invest in your practice. And then, as you coach diverse people, different people, in different places, at different stages of life, you will understand what you like, the most. And also, you will also have an understanding of who is attracted to you the most. So, make yourself attractive. That is also important to the type of people that, or to the audience that you want to coach. Have a very nice day, and I hope this summary helped you. Bye.